Okay, go.
One of the great memories about Grandpa is just their dedication and everything to every single one of us and all the swim meets and everything they went to. And coming up to their house and always having cocoa pebbles for us for breakfast because Mom and Dad never let us have those at home, so we always loved that. Love you, Grandpa.
Yay! Okay, now you can go. We know you guys are in a rush. Thank you.
Be careful.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Thanks. Oh, they're going to a wedding.
Not their own.
Not their own.
Not their own.
Not their own.
That I know of.
Okay. Okay, who's next? Are you next?
Next,
Okay, Larry's next.
one of my memories of Grandpa is when I was a boy. I was in Boy Scouts, and first year at summer camp, I took swimming merit badge. Unfortunately, I wasn't a good swimmer, and it was a long week being home, away from home for the first week. I got mighty homesick by about Wednesday of that week. And that night I had a bad day at swimming and was just really depressed, and I looked up and around the corner down the lane came Dad, and he had come to stay at last few days of camp, and it certainly did help out having you there the last few days of camp to help us through. And then he went on to take me down to the YMCA in the winter to complete my swimming merit badge and going to life-saving merit badge. So that was a long trek, but thank you for all of that. It really meant a lot.
There you go. Very good. Okay, I'm going to be next because there we go. I got it.
Are you sure?
I'm sure. It's fine. I'm sure. I can do this. I was reminded of this just a few minutes ago, and I told a couple of you guys this. But Grandma always was cooking everything all the time. When we'd get together at their house, she always cooked up a storm. Fried chicken and mashed potatoes and all kinds of stuff, 7-layer salad and all that. But Grandpa was always the master of the ice cream maker. And he always filled a container like that with ice cream and just, every time, ice cream. But at the end of the meal, Grandpa would get out the ice cream and he would dish it out, and he could feed 8 people out of that ice cream container like that and put a pint of ice cream in your bowl. And if you stopped him before he put the full pint in your bowl, he would get all like weepy and offended, and it was like, what? Don't you want my ice cream? Don't you want? It's like, no, Grandpa, we really like your ice cream, but we're so full. Or, but it's my good ice cream. And I'm like, okay, Grandpa, well, I'll eat all this ice cream. And so we always had really full tummies when we left their house because Grandma cooked great stuff, but Grandpa was the ice cream master, always. So it was great. But many other things too. Okay, that was me. Now we're back to you guys. Okay, we're gonna go this way. Matt and Sarah are here. I'll pick on you guys.
Okay. I just remember spending many days at Grandpa and Grandma's house and spending time playing down in the basement and helping crush the recyclable cans because that was just fun to do. And because it was in a part of the basement that we weren't allowed to go to a lot of the time. So I don't really have specific memories. I just know that every time I think of you and Grandma, they've always been good thoughts. So thank you.
Thank you.
Sarah, you want to add to that or no?
Come back to me.
Well, okay, maybe. All right.
Okay. So, well, Matt took my can crushing experience away, but that's fine. I just remember, well, I have to say, over 20 years, Grandpa has been kind of quiet, but one of the first times I met your grandparents, they came up to RET and they picked us up to come back to Ohio. I think your grandmother might have done most of the talking, but but that's what I remember. My first one.
Oh, yeah, I had a few memories that I was thinking of, and like one that maybe Grandpa doesn't want to remember was the day that I was down helping him and Grandma clear out some stuff at New Concord, and then Grandpa went up on a ladder, like on a tree, and next thing we looked over and he fell down and landed right on his butt, and then we went over to check and see if he was okay, and he's like, yeah, I'm okay, and then he sat down on a swing and he was like, oh yeah, and then he seemed like very much in pain. He didn't want to go, but Grandma made him get in the front seat of the van, and then I drove them both to the hospital, and he had crushed a vertebra. But I remember thinking, like, at the time, like if it were up to him, he would just like work through the pain, and get right back. But maybe a more pleasant memory I was thinking about, like the times as a kid that revolved around camping and scouts, and I had this sort of also a similar experience with swimming to Larry. I remember like I was always very frightened of swimming for a long time, and I didn't learn how to swim for a long time, and then it was you took me to Beaumont Scout Camp here, and that's where I really started to learn how to swim, was there. And we also had a nice trip, I think it was a year or two later, where Katie and I went with you and Grandma, and you drove us all the way out to New Mexico, and we made a few stops along the way. And I remember at one point, I tried to convince you to let me buy a little jackalope, right? And you wouldn't buy that, but other than that, it ended up being a really nice trip. And,
I remember that.
Had a nice time.
Yeah. I always remember down in New Concord, I always liked that you would let us ride on the riding lawnmower with you. You didn't have the blade down, but we could go riding around, and for the city kids that we were, that was always kind of fun. And then going to college at Muskingum, every so often, when you guys would be down there, even if I wasn't there, you guys would stop by the dorm room, and I knew they were there because they'd leave like a 12-pack of pop outside of my room. Nothing, like no notes or anything, but I knew they were there. I knew they were thinking about us.
Luke, got anything?
You might have to come back to me.
All right. We'll come back to Bev in a while, too. We leave the daughters till later,
I
too.
thought you were gonna keep going.
Nah.
Man, John kind of stole mine, but I can reiterate just that I appreciated just how supportive Grandma and Grandpa were, like of our swimming. I mean, whenever we were up here swimming at Cleveland State, they'd come watch. One thing I also remember is when I was in third grade, we had just recently moved to Beaver Creek, and Grandma and I think Dad went to
Probably a conference.
a conference, and Mom went with him, and they came down and stayed and took me to football practice and everything. And so I just, I can't think of anything, too specific, but just that I just remember how supportive they were of us, and it was something that I'll always appreciate and remember. So.
Cool. You want to chime in or no? Okay. Maria's just a real shy person. We know that. So I'm going to come around here because the backlighting is getting real awful. So we'll do it this way. All right, Ed.
I don't know, I can't really think of anything like too specific, but Grandpa always used to help me with my Pinewood Derby cars when I was in Cub Scouts, and that was just one of those things that I love doing with them, and not to mention that got a few first place trophies, so he was pretty good. He was pretty good at making the Pinewood Derby cars, so that's something I'm always going to remember and love. So.
Cool. All right, Gus. I know this is the risky one, but
Well, basically, Mr. B showed me what a grandfather is supposed to do. Some years ago, when Michael was very small, but big enough to be pesky. Okay, he was. We had gone to a family restaurant en route to somewhere south of Cleveland. Okay, and we were all sitting there at the restaurant. We were eating and so forth, and Michael was in a boosted chair next to Mr. B, and basically Michael had his left hand all in Mr. B's, his dinner, and Mr. B just kept eating and so forth. And, and I tried to say, Mr. B, he's got his hands, you don't know where his hands have been. He was, oh, that's quite all right. And so basically, he taught me what it's like to be a grandfather. I haven't quite reached that pinnacle yet, but I'm working on it.
Okay, so if we bring Aiden over here, he can put his hands all in your dinner now and whatnot.
Yeah, I just won't eat it.
Okay, cool. Brian and Amber.
Okay. I mean, going back to kind of what John and Aaron said, I mean, just going to our sporting events, that type of thing. But also, about a month or last year or so, we came up here for a concert. And I mean, normally when we come up here, like it's with family and it's everybody. But it was nice just going out to lunch with them one day and just having that time one-on-one with them, just to take them to lunch and talk to them at the house and everything and not have everybody here. That's probably my favorite. No offense to the rest of you. That was one of the few times where it was just us and him. So.
Okay. Cool.
All right, yeah. I've always gotten to see a lot of Grandma and Grandpa when Grandma was alive, and then, the last 3 years, like 4 or 5 actually, weren't always the best time for me, and there's some times where it got really dark, and when I needed it the most, he let me move into his house, and I got to see like how awesome this man really is. Like, I might not live to 90, but if I do, I hope I'm like him, I guess that's all I want to say. He's awesome to me.
Cool. Very good. Peggy, you want to say anything? Go ahead.
I guess I say from the small amount of time that I've known Grandpa, he's just always been an extremely thoughtful and selfless person. And when I was going through interviews at this job that I really wanted, he was always on top of it, and he always remembered, when I was supposed to get a call back, and always asked me about how everything went, how my second interviews went, and I've never had someone as attentive as him in my life, and for that I'm very thankful.
Good, thank you. Okay, Karen.
Okay.
I know, it's daughter-in-law time.
Yeah. Well, I don't really have a specific memory. I have to second Kathy's observation that Dad is very quiet, kind of like my husband, like father, like son. And like my husband, he's just like, I think of him as a rock. He's just very stable, and he's always there for us. My dad's been gone over 20 years now, and so I think of Dad is my dad now, so, and just, like I said, he's always been there over the years for us, so, thanks, Dad.
Okay. All right, Noah?
Well, I love how Grandpa always asks us how our baseball teams are doing, and although I cannot say that I'm having a good season, because we always think, I'm just glad whenever he writes us a letter or anything, he asks us how our baseball seasons are doing, and we always send our baseball pictures to him in the mail too.
Okay, very good, cool. Okay, it's daughter time.
I have one more.
Oh wait, Matt has one more?
I remember when we first moved to Lodi, and Grandma and Grandpa came down and saw our yard. And the next thing we realized, there was a rototiller in the backyard to dig up a huge chunk of garden that was probably almost the size of this room. And so we had a garden when we moved into Lodi, which was pretty awesome. And then when we also found out that we had the apple trees that littered our yard with apples, there was a apple press that made its way down several times as well, that we would pick the apples and make our cider for the season.
Yep. Grandpa was good about thinking up things for us to do.
Yep.
Lots of hard work, right?
Yep.
Yep. Okay.
Well, my memories are many varied, but I just kind of go with what a lot of people have said. Is Dad has always been there, and yes, quiet, but he was the one that transported me, to school, to ball games, to Girl Scout camp. He and Mom, I don't know how many times went camping with the whole troop, or it was, a week camp and he was there. And so just being there, doing that, making sure we could always rely on him for the transportation, for everything. And so even as we grew older and got married, when we moved, it was with U-Hauls and that kind of thing. So it was Dad and Mom with the U-Haul and taking us to St. Louis and Chicago and the many and varied places. So I've always been there and really appreciate that.
See, you guys found this picture of Grandpa and thought Johnny Manziel, and yesterday Mom was saying Grandpa was the transporter, and I'm thinking Jason Statham. Ha ha ha. You don't even know who that is, but that's all right. All right, Sue, it's your turn. You can't get away from me that easily.
I think my memories have been pretty well stated through all of your memories. But I think excuse me. Dad, you are a very special person. Anybody needs help, support, confirmation of what they're doing, you're the biggest supporter of everything. And I hope that Gus and I can instill that in our boys. And I see it in other family members too. So it's something that you and Mom instilled in your children, and I think we are trying to instill it in our children, and that is family value. So thank you so much. And the other thing that I always remember is I always have to check my pockets after being with you, because you usually, if there's an argument about something, I usually come home with more than I came with.
Money?
Yeah, there's usually a $20 bill or something in there. Yeah, that's right.
I have one more.
All right, it's not your turn.
Okay, sorry.
It's Andy's turn.
What are we doing?
Huh?
What are we doing?
What? Do you have a memory of Grandpa or anything you want to say about Grandpa? Anything? If not, that's okay.
Say I love you, Grandpa.
Or you can say, I love you, Grandpa.
Love Grandpa.
Okay.
Can you say I love you, Gigi? Aiden, say I love
Okay.
you, Gigi.
I love you, Gigi.
Okay. Catherine. Hi. Can you say love you, Gigi? No? Okay. That's fine. That's good. That's good. There's Matt holding his hand. All right, Bev, you have one more, and that's
I just have one more ice cream one. Yes, always you were making ice cream, but it was like ice cream was always for the special events and that kind of thing. And I remember we were in St. Louis when Nathan was born. We phoned Mom and Dad and said, okay, we've had a baby, you know, then you didn't know the gender until they were born. Baby boy, you know, first grandson. And what I heard was, okay, we're gonna go make some ice cream. And so that was the celebration for when Nathan was born, we're gonna make ice cream, so.
That's right. That's right. Okay, Grandpa?
Oh, there's.
Oh, wait, we got one over there? Where are we? Uh-oh.
Okay, actually, this is an experience that Sue told me about, but I just think it's quite relevant to the fact that Mr. B knew how to be, well, certainly a granddad and also a dad. Sue was telling me she was about 4 years old. She had gone to there was some kind of parade or something, and Mr. B had let her sit on his shoulders to watch the parade. Well, she got so excited that she let go, and basically he and she were both, and
Pretty wet from the shoulders down, yes.
And I said, well, did Mr. B get upset and said, get off me like I would have done? And he said, no, he just accepted it and didn't realize that she'd had an accident.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you for that, Josh.
Yeah, thank you for that, Gus. Yeah.
I remember that.
All right.
I remember going,
All right. Now, Grandpa, here's what we're all dying to know. And, you know, we'll give you a chance at rebuttal if you want. But here's what we're all dying to know. Nobody in this room was around when you were growing up, okay? But some of us had heard from your mother that you once rode a cow. So what we want to know is, how did that happen?
Our cows were always real friendly. I wasn't afraid of them. You go out in the pasture and you herd them into the barn for the evening meal or evening milking. And sometimes I was tired, so I decided to take a ride. It wasn't the one time thing. It happened occasionally. But this time, this particular cow had horns, and the dog, which is always with me, ran along beside her and started barking. And she took a dive at him. I went over her head, had on a new pair of big overalls.
Uh-oh.
Which caught on her horn. And it ripped the bib off well, not entirely off. Ripped the bib off the overalls. And this was not unusual. You go out in the field, get on a horse, ride the horse.
Yeah, but horses don't have horns. Horses don't have horns.
No, they didn't have horns.
Did you get in trouble for ripping your overalls?
I'm sorry?
Did you get in trouble for ripping your overalls? No?
Oh, I heard that they had to be repaired, and yes, repaired by hand, and he might not be I kind of remember they weren't very happy about it. Grandma wasn't very happy
They were brand new
about
overalls. How old were you when this happened?
25?
No.
Oh, 12 or 13? Okay. Okay. All right. Well, we had only heard it only happened once, but you're saying you did it again.
You only ripped the bib once.
Only ripped the bib once. Okay. Okay.
So does he.
Anything else you want to say, Grandpa? Anything else you want to tell us? Or?
I was just going to say that Joe and I always thought we had a great family. All of them, all of you. I miss her. I guess it's to be expected after 60 years.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to thank all of you for all the kind remarks you've made and all the memories that it brought back. It's been great today. Thank you all very much. We love you all.
We love you too, Grandpa.
Me too.
I'm sorry?
Love you too.
We love you too, Grandpa.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thanks, everybody.